Member for West Swan.
Mr Speaker, my question without notice is to the Minister for Transport. I referred to claims you made in this place last Wednesday that the 2 late-night train services were free. I then referred to a correction you made last Thursday that the 1:15 a.m. service was not free, but in fact was considered free because payments by passengers were not enforced, and asked 1. Minister, in an answer yesterday in the other place, did you claim that in fact payments were enforced and passengers had received fines for not buying tickets? And 2, Minister, why did you mislead this House once again on this very important issue?
Minister.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I have not misled the House, and the insinuation from the Honourable Ken Travis that I've been lying in this House is quite appalling. Now, Mr Speaker, I was pretty clear about this situation last week. Mr Speaker,
Member for Cannington.
the advice that I'd received from the PTA was that the 2 services were free, and it was incorrect. And on the next day, I advised the House that it was incorrect. And because of the Mr Speaker, because of the information that I was provided and the misinformation that I was given, I said to the House that I sought clarity from the Public Transport Authority, and on the basis of the information that I had, I asked them to ensure that they made the service free, effective immediately. So I took charge of the situation, Mr Speaker, and insisted that the service was free. Now, the advice that I had received was that they were not enforcing it. Again, the Public Transport Authority in this process said they were not enforcing the payment of the 1:15 service. Now, that didn't say that there weren't actual infringements, but they, Mr Speaker, but they said the majority of people are riding for free. So, Mr Speaker, I have since followed up. I'm not happy with the advice that I received from the Public Transport Authority. They are aware of that. I received an apology from the Director-General of Transport, and I accepted that apology. Now, Mr Speaker, effective last weekend, we made both services, formalised them, that they are both free. That's what I said last week, and that's what's occurring.
Right, supplementary.
Minister, if issuing infringement notices isn't enforcement, what is it?
Mr Speaker, if they were enforcing it, I would expect that everybody, and they would systematically be working through the trains to ensure enforcement. Now, Mr Speaker...
Sit down, please. Member for West Swan, call you to order for the second time. Minister.
So, Mr Speaker, I did ask the question on this. Mr Speaker, as I said...
Okay, thank you. Member for West Swan. Member for Cannington, I call you to order now for the first time. Minister, wind this up, please.
Oh, Mr Speaker, I'm definitely trying to. Mr Speaker, look, they told me that it wasn't being enforced. The Public Transport Authority advised me that it wasn't being enforced, Mr Speaker. Now, Mr Speaker, I followed up as to exactly what that meant. And they have said that the majority of people have been riding on the 1:15 service for free. They have since come back and said there were potentially an infringement or so. Now, I've said, what does that mean? And they've advised me that for the calendar year, on the 1 a.m. or the 1:15 service, there were a total of 11 infringements. Mr Speaker, 11 infringements for the total of the calendar year. Now, Mr Speaker, they have told me that the majority of people, the Public Transport Authority have advised me that the majority of people were riding on the 1:15 for free. And yet they have only made a total of infringements of 11. Now, Mr Speaker, I have taken this and this misinformation that I was provided and ensured that it is now a free service on the 1:15. I've formalised it, Mr Speaker, and that's the end of it.